What's good, people? CP3, Sports on the Hill podcast, True Radio Network, live from the lab. Victory Monday. Redskins find a way to get consistency from the whole team and beat a feisty Green Bay team 31-17. Week 3, sloppy field. I don't even know what I feel right now. I am very happy with the first half play calling of Jay Gruden. Second half, it's a trend that when the opposing defensive coordinator takes Jay out of his comfort zone, what has been working in the first half, he has nothing. That's pretty much what happened in the second half, and the defense stepped up and locked this game down, got a turnover at the right time, caused pressure, contained Aaron Rodgers for the most part. He had a couple of little gimpy scrambles, but they did their job. You had 4 sacks by the defense and all by the defensive linemen. Jonathan Allen with 2, Matt Ioannidis with 1, and Deron Payne with his first sack in the NFL in the first half. I was pleasantly surprised with the deep throw in the first half to Paul Richardson, but folks were complaining about the wide receivers not winning. Some folks even called Paul Richardson a bust coming off his best season in Seattle as a wide receiver. But week by week, things change. Players develop. Game plans change. Different teams come in. Different strengths and weaknesses of the opposing defense. And I got to take my hat off to Jay. I know I started my hashtag last week a little premature, Bill Callahan for OC, but I still feel that way because there's no reason you can have the production you had in the first half and then put up the performance you did in the second half. Green Bay has a quality defensive coordinator, granted. Green Bay has Aaron Rodgers, granted. But there's no way your quarterback should have 0 yards passing in any quarter in a professional football game. Mike McCarthy came out at half with a great drive, 15 plays, got the touchdown. What did Jay do? A normal coach, okay, let's do some ball control, give a defense time to rest. Let's run the ball. Not out of the 3 wide receiver set, not out of the bunch formation, but let's go 2 tight end. Ironically, that's how they got the game ice and drive for that field goal to put it a 14-point lead. What did you see? You heard the commentator say it. They got 2 and 3 tight ends in the game. Why does it take for the game to get that close for him to realize and to go back to what was working in the first place? I heard what the commentator was saying about Adrian Peterson lining up in the I formation, 8 yards back with no blocker in front of him. That's cool when AP was in college or maybe his second or third year in the league. He's not the same dude that's going to do that constantly. He broke some. He busted some. Yes, he did. But why do you have the whole lull in the third quarter and the start of the fourth quarter? Because you want to keep putting 3 wide receivers out there when you have an 11-point lead. But I'm not here to be negative. This was a victory. So I'm not here to talk about the bad. I'm here to talk about the good. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Hey, Sherry, what's going on? What's up, Cindy, Jared, Carol? Everybody appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all could be looking elsewhere on those other folks that's going to, try to stir some controversy or whatever. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. Robbie, I appreciate you sharing the post. What's up, Greg? Said he got to get better in in-game adjustments. Yeah, definitely. That's been a issue with Jay, in my opinion, from the jump. But let's talk about the positive. I started off on the negative side. I don't want to start off on the negative side. The dreary weather, the rain, it's been all dreary. It's got me a little negative. This was a quality win against a quality team that was coming in looking for a victory. Now their Green Bay is 1-1-1, which they didn't want to be. Redskins are 2-1, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. I was hoping for 3-0. Could have been, but 2-1 before the bye. Remember, there is an early bye, so next week they get to heal up a little bit, but they got to stay healthy for the rest of the season. You saw Morgan Moses went out concussion. Hopefully that's not lingering effects. He'll be back for the after the bye week. And we had a couple of players that's on the short-term IR. Not sure how much longer they'll be out there, but excuse me, this was a quality win. What's up, Slim Montana? Let's see. Jay said, yeah, it was a victory, but you understand why you didn't keep up doing what he was doing in the first. That's been a constant thing with Jay. That's been something I've been knocking on him since he's been here. I don't understand why it's normally game from game that he'll switch up game plan till he have a game plan like he did with Arizona, run the ball 42 times, throw the ball 20 times, and you win. But then he comes out the following week, throws the ball 45 times, run the ball 22. But ironically this week, in a win, ran the ball 33 times, threw the ball 20. I mean, how often do you have to see that recipe working? I actually had a so-called football fan try to argue me down about the 2 and 3 tight end set that you can't do nothing out of it. The team knows you're going to run. It doesn't make a difference if the team knows you're going to run. You got to stop it. You saw what the zone read option play that they did when he just put it in his breadbasket just for a quick second. And that slant is always open because the team has to respect it. You don't have to do it, but it gives the defense something else to think about. And that's what it's about sometimes. But Jay wants to outthink everybody and be the so-called offensive genius. Sometimes you just got to put the ball in the running back's hands and let him dictate the pace of the game. And that's what happened for this victory, just like it did in Week's 1 victory. Hugh said what happened last week. I just pretty much broke it down. Flawed game plan. Why are you going to, go away from what worked? You had a game plan of running the ball and conservatively passing the ball and doing what you had to do to win. But then the following week, you want to come out in 3 or 4 wide receiver sets trying to look all fancy, and it made the whole team look bad. But then you come out this week with a better game plan, sticking to the run, and the team looks like an NFL team this week. Last week, it looked like they didn't even belong on the football field. So it comes down to coaching. Everyone wants to always put it on the players. But just like players have to develop, coaches have to develop also. And for some reason, Jay continues to run his head into a brick wall thinking the same thing is going to work over and over again. Let's see. Rufus said the defense was still giving up yardage. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. I mean, last week it was Andrew Luck. They're quick throw, accurate quarterbacks. They 3-step drop you, 5-step drop you. If the defensive lineman isn't getting there, or getting their hands up, the ball's coming out quick. You also have offenses that run crossing routes, rub routes, where the wide receivers are crossing in front of defenders to try to get moving picks, which last week they didn't call. This week, Green Bay was shooting themselves in the foot on so many other occasions, they didn't even have a chance to call the pick plays if they did run them. So, week in and week out, you have an opponent that also is professional athletes that have skill too. So the defense is ranked number 1. They're playing lights out. They just held Aaron Rodgers to 17 after you saw what he did to Chicago's defense and who they got with Khalil Mack and how dynamic their defense has been. And folks are questioning the Redskins' defense, but they're statistically number 1, and they've been playing well. Forcing turnovers, getting pressure, containment. 4 sacks today. I mean, it's week 3. Progression. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, people. 16 weeks, 16 games. They're going in the right direction. They're playing well. Penalties was down. They only had 6 penalties a day. They had 8 last week, but that's still too many. But it's all about developing. Just like I said, Jay has to develop and understand the strengths of his team. Instead of trying to conform his playbook to the team, or vice versa, the team to the playbook, you need to implement it the other way. You know what talent you have on that field. Instead of trying to call some of the plays you want to call the plays that's going to work for the talent that we have on the field. And you saw that in that drive. You saw that in the first half. We didn't see that in the third quarter. Let's see. Jerry said also, why didn't the defense keep putting pressure on Rodgers when he was playing hurt? Well, like I just said, they quick throw offense. When you taking 3 steps and dropping, unless you got, dynamic outside linebackers on each side, and you got a huge push up the middle, you're not really going to get there. You saw last week with Mason Foster getting his hands over Andrew Luck. That's pretty much all you can do with a 3-step drop quarterback when that's the offense they're running, because you're not going to get to him in those 3 steps. So all you can do is try to get pushed, take a step back, and hope you're in the passing lane and get a hand up like Foster did on DJ Swearinger's second interception of the game last week. So it all depends on what the offense is doing also. It's not always just the defense isn't doing their job or they need to get more pressure. You have to look at what the other team is doing too to counteract the defense getting pressure. They would throw, you saw in the third quarter, after he got beat up, Aaron Rodgers got beat up in the first half, what did they do? They weren't throwing to the wide receivers. They was throwing a little wheel routes out the backfield to the running back because the secondary was playing well, locking up the wide receivers. They weren't getting separation. Randall Cobb, their best player, was having a bad game. So they changed up. They made an in-game adjustment like Greg was speaking about, which Jay needs to be better at. And instead of trying to go to the wide receivers and going deep, they dinked and dunked down the field on that 15-play drive to get the touchdown, which tightened things up. So the defense played well. It's just, the other team has options, and you're playing Green Bay, top flight offense with the highest paid quarterback in the league. I mean, the other team gets paid too. Said the second half not scoring as much as we did in the first half, going to get us in the long run. I definitely agree, but the defense stepped up. Folks were saying, I heard some people saying the defense is the reason why they lost last week. They didn't do enough. Well, the defense, stepped up. The offense really put up 3 points in the second half. Defense did their thing. Let's see, we got Robbie. I guess he finished sharing. Great, bring my man Robbie in. See, get his post-game thoughts. Victory Monday. That's right there. Number 1 defense in the league. And, I love that being a defensive guy. As I mentioned, 4 sacks from the defensive line, which has always been an issue with the Redskins. And it feels good as a defensive guy to see our defensive line doing that, linebackers playing well. It's a beautiful thing. What's up, Robbie? How you doing tonight, man? I know you enjoyed that victory.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I thought our defense played phenomenal. I thought they played lights out, and I thought they played well in the previous game too, but I like to see that we were able to produce in the red zone. We were able to score some touchdowns, and, I actually went on and predicted that we were going to lose that 35-28. I did not expect us to score 28 points in the first half. I was a little worried that we would not keep the pedal to the metal, so to speak. I thought there was a little bit of a let up in the third quarter. We didn't sort of stomp the foot on the throat like you like to see. And I thought that we let them back in it just a little bit, but I was happy that we were able to stick with the game plan, go back to the running. Adrian Peterson looked like his old self, rushing for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. And, we found the fountain of youth with some of these guys. I thought that Smith did a good job trying to manage the offense, not trying to do too much, but I like that he went vertical down the field early to try to draw that out so that way it opens up stuff underneath. I think that teams need to start to respect that and know that that's an option, even if it ends up getting picked off or something bad happens. I like them going deep just because, that they at least have to question that, and they have to put people back there, and they have to honestly respect that as a possibility. And, and it worked out this time. And who knows, you get pass interference calls, and there's a lot of things that you can gain by going deep with the ball. So I was really excited to see that. But the defense, though, I thought that they stepped up on some key possessions. And I do got to bring up one little thing. The roughing the passer, it's a questionable call now, right? And I just saw it in another game, in the Dallas game, where it was against Dallas.
I tweeted out that was a bad call. They actually went to the commentator, and he got the director of referees to say that because he landed on him,
that's the new rule. But it happened. I've seen it 4 or 5 times in the last 2 weeks.
More impactful than that sack. Deron Payne threw him down to the ground. They called nothing. But, it ain't like he linked his shoulder into him. He just fell on him. It was an innocent play that shouldn't have been called. But, like I said, we've been on the opposite side of that for so many times. So, if it happens, okay, I'll take it.
It's going all over the league, though. I mean, I'm just telling you right now, the Dallas to Seattle game, the exact same play happened, where the Dallas guy sacked them and it looked like a good sack, and they called, I don't know. It's such a weird thing. Last year we couldn't figure out what a catch was, and this year I feel like we don't know what roughing the passer is. So
But
it's
catch figured out. Now they got to get roughing the passer figured out.
exactly. So, but I mean, other than that, I thought we played well. I thought we made the kicks when we needed to make the field goals. It's a sloppy weather. Nothing's ever a given. I think making that last field goal, although it's not hugely important, but I think that you don't want to give them any momentum coming back into it. I think making the right plays when you need to have it, both on defense and offense. And I liked us mixing it up a little bit, especially with the running attack and sticking with it. And I think, I think we also did a little bit of misdirection with the running. We weren't just always running straight down a hill. There was just slight variations. Where it's not like we need to run trick plays or anything too complicated, but I like that there was a variety of different run plays, out of the eye and, different formations just to keep people on their toes. And, Adrian Peterson just really loves playing against Green Bay. I think statistically it's the team that he's done the best against. So it was interesting
Yeah,
to see that again.
I know being in the NFC North, he had plenty of matchups against him, and I figured he was definitely one of his favorite opponents to go against. But I appreciate you coming on, Rob. We got a lot of folks with some questions and stuff I wanted to want to get to real quick. I know I probably have some other folks chiming in, but I'll let you get back to it with Zach and enjoy the rest of this football Sunday, and I'll get to some of the folks and questions and comments, man.
Sounds good. We'll have a great rest of their Sunday. Hail to the Redskins. Hope we get healthy during our bye week and make a good run here. It's a little frustrating we have such an early bye week, but me being in Texas this weekend, it actually kind of worked out perfectly for me. So personally, I'm very excited, and hopefully Dallas loses today, and I can go down to Texas puffing up my jersey and rocking the burgundy and gold for the next 10 days.
Hey, we're going to find out. But, all right, man. I'll talk to you later, man. Appreciate you coming on. Holla at you.
Later, man.
All right. Appreciate it. Anybody else who feels free, come on. I ain't tripping. We post game. It's all Redskin family. It's all love. Rufus said Ryan Kerrigan was a no-show. What's his problem? Quick passing game. He saw he had a backup lineman. He had a little push. Got a little. I can't really say it's a problem. The only thing I'm gonna go to is what I always say with the elite pass rushers in the league. They move him around. They put him over the guard. They put him over on the left side or the right side. He's always on the right side. So, I mean, you got to start putting some variety. I know last year they put him over the guard sometimes, and he had a great impact. But for some reason, they put him on that side all the time. Now they have Pernell McPhee. He's back healthy. You saw him line up on the right side. So maybe going forward, we'll see more packages with him, Preston McPhee, and Pernell McPhee, and Preston Smith out there. So maybe, to get Kerrigan going, he's had double-digit sacks, for 7 years? Let that man loose. But you put him on the same side every time. Come on. DeMarcus Ware, Von Miller. They all over the place. But you always know Kerrigan going to be on that right side. Jair said, I hope I'm saying your name right. Jair, excuse me, says Ty needs to get it together. Well, Ty is a natural backup left tackle. Being on the right side, you saw how everything was, like a step behind for him, because when you're normally being on the left side and got to go to the right side, everything is opposite. So he was out there thinking and not playing because he's not used to playing right tackle. So not making excuses for him, but that just lets you give insight to why he looked the way he did when he was on the left side and looked like an all-pro, and he's on the right side and looked like he didn't belong over there. But like we said, Morgan Moses played on 2 bad ankles through the whole season last year. So he had a concussion, so hopefully he'll be back after the bye week. No big deal. Greg, the defensive line looking real good. Got a good rotation, staying fresh. They young, they hungry, they strong. You saw Ioannidis bull rush the dude in the first quarter, just push him straight back into Aaron Rodgers. You can't do nothing but applaud that. That's defense. That's just doing what you're supposed to do in the trenches and taking a man off his feet or off his balance and off his spot and just taking him back 5 feet into his quarterback. That's the worst thing you can do to an offensive lineman. I know he was questioning his manhood after that. Jaden said the defense looked really good. Yeah, they did. They was lights out. Fabian Moreau played a hell of a game in the slot. covering up Randall Cobb. I ain't gonna say that's the reason why Cobb didn't have a good game, but he definitely made some huge plays. He played big, and as a third round pick 2 years ago, in the slot playing the way he did, he's definitely looking like a steal right now. William, yeah, good win today. Gets a quality opponent, and can't take nothing away from the team. You can enjoy it for a couple of days since we got a bye week next week. Oh, and be sure to tune in to Sports on the Hill podcast October 1st, because we will have Diane Cheeseborough on during Redskins bye week to get some of her analysis. Someone that's at Redskins Park every day, shooting footage, posting it, letting you know that, they're not just dialing it in and calling in and hearing or calling somebody else to hear what's going on in Redskins Park. Because as I've said over and over again, we don't do anonymous sources on this show. You want to know what's going on? We put them on the phone. We put them on the show. If you want to talk to them, ask them what's up, by all means, because you're going to get DC sports without the politics, people. It's not just a motto. It's not just a catchphrase. It's what we do. All right, shameless plug, had to get that out there. All right, David said you believe we make the playoffs this year? I can't. It's too early for that, man. Injuries, we've already, got a few injuries we got to be concerned about. We have a tough schedule after the bye. So let's take one game at a time, see how things fall out. Philly not looking as sharp, even though they beat the Colts today. The Giants, they got a victory today. I don't know how they did that, but they won. And as Robbie mentioned, the Cowgirls are playing now. I got to see the score on one of these TVs. But currently they're not. Oh, yeah, it is on the main TV. It's still 0-0 in the first. 3 minutes left. Let's see, we got a developing story. Oh, boy, 49ers. Chris, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Look like they said, it looked like Jimmy Garoppolo might have a blown ACL, might be gone for the season. That's a tough blow for y'all, especially what y'all was trying to build. I knew it was going to be a rough one against Kansas City for you today, but I wasn't wishing that on you. But who knows? They said it's preliminary, so we'll find out when they get the MRI. Yeah, you need to keep the pedal to the metal. Yeah, Jay, I mean, we know what he is. We know what he does. So, I mean, we can't keep on banging our head against a brick wall wishing for something else when we already know what we got. So, all we can do is buckle up and hold on and wait and see. Folks asked for my prediction of the game. I was like, it depends on what type of game Jay wants to call. I mean, the team is talented. The team is hungry. The team is ready. But it all depends on how prepared they are and what the coaches and coaching staff have for them to go out there and execute. You have to be set up for success. This week, first half, Jay set them up for success. Second half, not so much. Johnny says they couldn't stop the quick out route and back-to-back plays. That's annoying. Well, I mean, it's a quick three-step drop. Unless you play man press and, jam them at the line so they don't get the separation, there's really nothing you can do. But if you miss that jam, it's a 60-yard touchdown. So it's all about leverage. It's all about position on the field, where you are and what the other team is doing. If you go to try to stop the 3-yard slant, the cornerback gets aggressive, go to jam, miss the jam, completes the slant, he's gone. Then instead of giving up a first down, you give up a touchdown, a quick touchdown. Momentum, time of possession, all of that stuff goes into account when you look at that stuff. So the roughing the passer, yeah, that was a terrible call, but that's what they're calling now. So what can you do? Yeah, Brian, he said it's his third time already. The two of them I saw, the one in this game and one they showed, I feel sorry for linebackers in the game right now, because I don't know what you can do when you're sacking a quarterback now. I just don't know without getting a penalty. Let's see. David Perry, I guess he's a golf fan. That's out of my realm. Said Justin Rose is falling apart on a golf course. That's a new one. We haven't had any golf coverage on Sports on the Hill. Maybe that's something we need to look into. Johnny said we become predictable in the second half. Jay does get predictable. Sometimes he starts calling the same plays or the same formations, and defensive coordinators key on that. I know us as fans and people that watch the game have picked up on some of his tendencies, so you know the opposing defensive coordinator has also. So once you start doing the same things again in certain situations, you know, you do become predictable. That's why you have to make sure you're staying diverse in what you do and don't continue the same things. And that's why I believe Jay tries to think outside of the box so much and do things differently, because he doesn't want to become predictable. And by doing that, you become predictable that you know the wheels are going to fall off eventually, because he's going to go away from what's working, which I don't understand, which is totally counterproductive. Robbie chiming in on the Ryan Kerrigan thing, said he played well, was getting double teamed a lot, and drew a few penalties. True, but I guess they're speaking more to the fact that he only has one tackle for the whole season, and you know, week 3. So, like I say, we've been playing against a lot of quick throw teams: Arizona, Indianapolis, and now Green Bay. You know, so that's kind of a product of what you get. I mean, the leading tackler on the team today had 6 tackles. That was between Quentin Dunbar and Preston Smith. So it is what it is. But they still ranked number 1 defense in the league. So he only has 1 tackle, and they're number 1. I'm sure he'll take that. So why shouldn't we? David Perry says AP is the GOAT. He damn sure looked like the GOAT today. He on that one move, that one run, that 20-something yard run where he put his foot in the ground, made that quick move and hit the speed burst before the defender could get him. Yeah, I didn't know he still had that in him at 33. But that definitely was a hell of a run, and he definitely showed out with 19 carries, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So the man saying, feed me the ball. I got this, coach. Ain't no reason to be throwing 40 times a game. I can run it at least 20, and I'm going to give you $120 and 2 touches to go with it. I said Ryan gets held every other play. Yeah, oh, man. I was in here heated at some of the non-calls on the Green Bay side when he had their hands in the shoulder pads holding on, and they didn't call nothing. But then when they called it against the Redskins, the commentator going to say, good call. Like, man, I'm tired of that, man. I definitely agree with that right there. Let's say Ryan does the same thing every play. Nah, Ryan does have a variety of moves, but when you're on the same side, you're going against the same players, free agency, going to different teams, and there's a book on you. There's film on you. Whenever you do stuff, it's film. So that's why I say if you line him up in different positions on the field, he can do different things and have different moves. You have a power rush, a bull rush, stunts, spins, all type twists, all types of stuff you can do when you move around on other sides of the field. But when he's on that edge, it's pretty much all you can do is bull rush, spin, or try to go inside because you're on the end of the line. If you go to the interior, you have a much more variety of moves you can do because of your position. So that's why I don't understand why they don't move around. And with Greg Minuski being an ex-linebacker, I don't know why he isn't doing it more. But like I say, with McPhee healthy now, hopefully we'll see more, variety with the blitzes. Jason said, is Chris hurt? No, teams are keying in on him. He's an explosive weapon, and they're doing whenever they see him on him. And Jay becomes predictable when he's on the field. I mean, they were trying to switch it up by letting him run up the middle, so he wasn't as predictable because they know when he comes in, either it's going to be a screen or a swing route or something like that because they're not going to run him up the middle. So I'm guessing he's trying to give the defense something else to think about with him running up the middle today, off tackle and some of the stuff off guard. But he's a weapon, and folks are keying in on him. And with the wide receivers not really making a name for themselves yet, they're letting the wide receivers get manned up because they haven't really made any defense scared yet. So you're going to stay on top of the weapons. You saw the first half that Jordan Reed had, and the second half you didn't even see him because they was shadowing him. They had a man underneath and over top the whole time because Jordan Reed was playing like a healthy Jordan Reed, and he was causing mismatch problems, and he was getting in the soft zones, and Alex Smith was finding him. So, they can't take everything away. They took away Chris. Yeah, Carl Richardson with the deep ball. Jamison Crowder had 4 catches for 40 yards and a touch. You had, like I say, the Crowder, Richardson, Reed Davis had 2 catches for 70 yards, a 55-yard, down the sideline. So they took away Chris, but you had other players step up and do what had to be done, and that's basically what it's all about right there. When the defense takes something away, the opposing team has to find a way to counter that. This week they did. Last week, not so much. Michael says great win. Yeah, it was definitely a good win. Got a little tight, not even points wise, just feeling wise with momentum and everything. But team stepped up. Defense did what they had to do. Got a turnover at the right time, and Redskins victory. That's all that matters. You would like to see Tim Settle play. Well, I mean, I believe they're rotating 7 guys now with Payne, Ioannidis, Allen, Hood, who else? And I believe, that's 5 right there. So I believe they're rotating 7. And it depends on what formations they're going to use in the defense. So you can't start 8, have all 8 offensive linemen and only have, 5 linebackers when you have linebacker packages where you need 8. So it's all about people being healthy and, it's a numbers game. Right now, the defensive line is playing well. He's just waiting in the wings if they need him. Hopefully no one gets injured. They won't. They're playing well. Like I said, the defensive line had 4 sacks today. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I say. Let's see, Underwood that Josh Norman made up for the fumble recovery, right place, right time. Yeah, Josh is really starting to become a head scratcher to me. I'm not really liking his field presence because, like, when he gives up the play, it's like he doesn't care. It's I know he's an intense player and yada yada yada, but I just don't like the way he's been carrying himself on the field lately. I don't. It's just something about that vibe. It's like he's not. It's just something missing in this game to me. I don't know. He played decent. He's been playing a lot of trail technique on that one, long bomb. I don't know if it was a miscommunication or blown coverage, but it happened. People going to get burnt. Nobody's never going to get burnt in the season, so it didn't hurt the team. It didn't, give them momentum, and they didn't come back and win off of it, so it happens. Let's see. The AP is the real deal. AP's always been the real deal. It's just people thinking that, for one, in the NFL now, the running back position is degraded. They don't count it as anything that any running back can, you can put him in there and they can do it. 2, he's 33 years old. Normally, when you're over 30 years old and it's a running back, they already say you're done. So the fact that, he had a couple of seasons off, 2 of them, not off, but not full seasons and had injuries, they wrote him off as washed up. Like he said, he volunteered to do the workout. The Redskins said if he didn't do the workout, they wouldn't have signed him. But the workout was so impressive, they had no choice. So it worked out for everybody. Underwood said Gruden keeps saying they got to keep conditioning. Yeah, that's the truth. But we got to figure out why we having all these issues and injuries early in the season when, luckily it's a bye next week. Hopefully they can get healthy and some of the players can come back. But you got 12 more games. Folks got to stay healthy. We do have depth. We do have youth. But you got to stay healthy. You got to have the bodies on the field that you're paying the big bucks. David, I guess, he's a golf fan. He said Tiger might win the whole thing. That'd be good if Tiger could win something. It's been a while since he has. So keep us posted, David. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on today, but it's always good to hear Tiger getting back on track. Michael also said we managed the clock well. Well, yeah, it was a 50-50 split. Basically, Green Bay had the ball 30 minutes. Redskins had the ball 29. I like the Arizona time possession better the first week, 38-22. That shows dictating the pace, wearing the other team down. But hey, they won the game. I'll take a 50-50 split. Yeah, they did play a lot of man because I believe last week with the Colts, with them having a similar, rub routes and crossing routes, they ran a lot of zone last week. That's why I believe there was more emphasis on getting pressure. Because if you can get pressure, even though you're not going to get to the quarterback, he can't step up into those throws and catch those wide receivers or running backs in stride and get all the yards after catch like you saw last week. This week, you saw a lot of crossing routes, but when they did catch the ball, except for that long, deep pass for the touchdown, they were pretty much swarming to the ball, wrapping up tackling. There was some missed tackling early in the game. I saw a little bit in that third quarter when Green Bay put their push in, but for the most part, the defense played pretty well. Said find the rest for so much holding. But they didn't call it, but Green Bay was shooting themselves in the foot so much with the defensive pass interference and illegal contacts. They even didn't call some of them that we saw. But I mean, it happens. Refs aren't going to be perfect. You know, they can't see everything, even though it looked like they're looking dead at it. But what can you do? So you think we got absolutely nothing out of our special teams? I mean, the way I look at it, a couple of years ago, they were costing the team games. This year, they're not making mistakes. Coverage has been pretty solid for the most part. Hoskins has been, only missed one kick so far. Tressway has been killing the ball. So, I mean, you want scores and you want flash and you want long returns, but sometimes you just want the unit just to do their job, and that's what they're doing. The defense is playing, lights out. The offense inconsistently plays well. So right now, it's not needed for them to do nothing, but hopefully at some point in the season, if called upon and needed to make a play, they can and will. But right now, I mean, they're not making mistakes. They're playing solid as a unit. They're not getting any stupid penalties or anything. So I say, hey, sometimes you just want to go under the radar. As long as they're not, doing nothing to get flags or, draw attention, I say let them be. I said we need to utilize more slant plays for third downs. Well, yeah, that's up to Jay's play calling, but that's why that when they showed the play to Crowder with the two tight end set with him putting the ball in Chris Thompson's stomach to fake like the zone read. Just that action alone makes the linebackers have to stop. They have to because they got to see what's going on. And as the commentator said, which I've said over and over again, that play is going to be open. You saw it with RG3 and Pierre Garçon back in the day. It was always open because as a fundamental rule as a linebacker, you have to look in there and see what's going on because if the running back gets the ball and you're chasing the wide receiver, running back gone. So you have to see. So you have to take that second and look back in there. That split second that you look back in there, he gets behind the coverage, complete a pass. So it depends on how Jay calls the game. It depends on what Jay does. We know the talent of this team. We've seen them do it. It's all in Jay staying focused and sticking to an honest game plan and not deterring off of it or getting frustrated or getting out-coached because he wants to, go away from what he originally said he wanted to do in his own game plan. So the commentators will always have it out for the Skins. Yeah, I mean, until they win it all, they're going to talk trash about it. Because you got to prove it. You got to do it on the field. Last championship, 91, 92. It's 2018. That's what they're going to do. Leonard, what's going on, man? He said 45% on third down conversions. Yeah, that was definitely a pleasant change from the week before. They got in a lot of third and short situations, and they ran the ball on third down. Simple as that. Said Ryan needs to mix it up as great as he is. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, they're going to start probably mixing things up. They got people coming back healthy. So hopefully they start moving around and do what he does and start getting the sack numbers up. We've seen him get hot before and get sacks in back-to-back games. So still early. It's week 3. Like I said, week 4 is a bye week. So you got week 5, then we'll see what happens. Leonard said he hope we lose every coin toss because we got the ball first and put the placards out there. I mean, I've always been of the mindset to take the second half kickoff because you never know how the first half is going to go. Sometimes you need that momentum, to switch if you had a bad first half. So I always prefer to, defer and get the kickoff in the second half when, in my decision making. Michael said AP should get the game ball. Definitely. 120 yards on 19 carries and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he definitely deserved it. Let's see. Don says, what about the commentator saying Foster could do nothing because the offense due to the whole thing won't come up. Oh, here we go. The commentator folks could do nothing because the offense due had 2 fists full of jerseys. Yeah, I mean, they didn't call it when Green Bay did it. They called it when the Redskins did it. What can you do? You just got to play clean, and pretty much that's it. Play clean. You won't get caught doing something you're not supposed to do. Let's see. Still 0-0 on the Cowboys-Seahawks game. Looks kind of uneventful so far. We'll see. Said the Steelers are taking trade requests for Bell. Yeah, I imagine so. Week 3, and that man still ain't signed a contract or played. I think he's serious about holding out, and he want that contract. So they got to do something because they 0-1-1, or was it they 1-0-1? All I know is they need to figure something out because he's a key piece of their offense, and they don't look the same without him. But the Steelers has always been a hard negotiating franchise, and they ain't never folded to players' demands for contract extensions and stuff like that. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm not worried about him coming to the Redskins. We got a rookie that's on IR that we believe is going to be a good running back for this team. So let him go wherever he want to go, as long as he stay out the NFC East. Michael says if we keep playing with the energy, the press will wake up and won't get no clout for this win. Yeah, I mean, but ESPN would say it was because Aaron Rodgers was hurt, but they played. Yeah, I mean, that's the narrative. That's the way it goes. It's never the Redskins play well. It's always the other team didn't show up or didn't play well or had a hurt play or whatever. So that's what this team knows, and that's what fuels them to be better. That's why Jay's development as a coach and going with what works is so critical because these players want to win. They want to change that narrative, but when you have a stubborn coach that wants to continue to do the same things over and over again and not conform to what his team's strengths are, it gets frustrating. But luckily, like you said, they went out there and played well, put it out all on the field, and got a victory against a tough opponent. So that's all that matters at the end of the day. They can say whatever they want to say, but as long as this team has confidence in itself and keep going out there putting up W's, eventually they got to change the narrative once they keep winning. Ken says Ty needs to practice not making penalties. But I mentioned he's naturally a left tackle. With him going to the right tackle, everything was opposite. He hasn't really practiced at right tackle. So he was a step behind. He was out of, his regular mindset of being, able to just play. He had to actually think about things because he had to do things opposite. So he looked pretty bad, but hopefully Moses will be back with just concussion. He played on 2 bad ankles last year. Hopefully he clears concussion protocol and be back out there week 5. Let's see. So the rest should be fine like the players. I kind of agree with that. I definitely kind of agree with that because their calls have an impact on the game. Even if it's a bad call or a call that they miss, it impacts the game. It impacts the outcome of the game. I've always said I'm never going to blame a win or loss on a referee, but they damn sure impact the outcome of the game. So that's something that definitely needs to be looked at. I hope the CBA and the Players Association start thinking about that. Yeah, I saw the Cardinals are playing well against the Bears. That's the funny NFL. The Bears, played lights out last week, and then this week they putting up what they doing. Minnesota came back 22 points in the fourth quarter against Green Bay and almost get shut out today against Buffalo. Buffalo, who looked like nothing the first 2 weeks and come out looking like world beaters today, beat Minnesota, who was supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. If you saw the commercial with them saying they got the one missing piece that they were missing last year, that missing piece came up missing today, I hate to say. Let's see. Leonard said, going back to the commentators, said Don said the Rams are killing the Chargers. Yeah, 21-6, second quarter. Yeah, the Rams, they definitely are a Super Bowl contender. Sean McVay, the true offensive genius that was here calling plays 2 years ago. He has a dynamic team defensively. He has a great, diverse offense, and he has a quarterback who they were thinking was a bust, who he's turned into a top-flight quarterback. You see what happens when you conform your playbook to your team and not your team to your playbook. You get the best out of your players. That's all it comes down to. That's the true job of a coach, to get the best out of your players. And Jay is falling short, in my opinion. Michael said we need to go after Antonio Brown if that becomes tradable and aggressively so we can get Alex throws. I mean, they're going to want everything. They're going to want you to mortgage the farm for Antonio Brown. Let's just see what the wide receivers do that we have. It's week 3. it takes time to develop. My only person I'm putting fire under is Josh Doctson, because it's time for him to put up a shut up. Because I've said it before, it's been said, potential has gotten many coaches fired. He has a lot of potential, but he got to put it together on the field. But I mean, Richardson, he's still developing on the rise wide receiver. Crowder developing on the rise wide receiver. You got Maurice Harris. You got Quinn, who's on the IR. I mean, the team is deep. If Antonio Brown, they're gonna want everything. And I just think we should just go ahead and get what we got, keep going. Corey said you kind of feel like they're losing faith in Doctson. Good game, like to see more passes on first down instead of the predictable running on first. Yeah, Doctson. I'm hoping the light finally comes on, because he's in a desperate spot right now if he wants that extension. Because as of right now, it ain't looking too good for him. Running on first, I mean, you can do different things out of first. You got the zone read, you got the quick screen, you got the wheel route. I mean, they have different stuff that they call on first where they can consider it a run or it can be considered a pass, a short pass, something like that. But you got to keep it, balanced, and you got to keep it, diverse. You can't get predictable because they key on stuff like that. Let's see, talking about the commentators. I didn't really have an issue with the commentators, but Charles Davis is all right. It could have been worse. Don said, well, I don't drink Hennessy that's 1738, and I was running late for the game, so I didn't get a chance to stop at the liquor store and get a bottle before. I will have a bottle tomorrow night, though, you best believe. I'm mad I didn't get a bottle before the show. I'm probably going to get a bottle after the show, and probably have one for tomorrow night's show also. So, yeah, not the Hennessy 1730. I forgot to tell you that last time. Let's see, if Doctson went hell, he would have had that fade. Yeah, I mean, I'm speaking more of the plays that he doesn't make. Last week, he had 2 drops. This week, he had potential to make plays. We've been waiting for him to make those plays. I watched some of his TCU stuff and heard what they said, how strong his hands were, how he would go for the ball at the highest point and come down with it. We haven't seen that on a consistent basis. Now it's time to see that. This is time to show and prove. Like you said, there is no true number one. This is his chance to show that, and he's just not doing it. So that's all I'm saying. It's time for him to put up and shut up. Leonard, yeah, I give him kudos for throwing the red flag. I thought it was a completion. I didn't think they would overturn it, but yeah, football gods worked in his favor this week. Say Gruden is good, Kim. I cannot agree with that statement. But everybody's intended, have their own opinion. I'm not going to knock you. I just have a different opinion of Jay Gruden. I don't see that. Let's see. Jason Harris said we play hurt too. Every team is hurt weekly. Yep. Injuries are no excuse. Got to go out there next man up. That's what it's all about. This team has depth, have youth. I don't want to see all of it like we did last year with all as many injuries as they had. But when somebody goes down, the next man got to step up. Michael, you believe Laval absence was why they ran better? I definitely am not going to argue with you on that statement because I am not a Sean Laval fan. First game he played well. Second game, this game he wasn't in there. But I don't know. Like I say, he's played better when they have Roulier at the center and have Trent on the other side. Last week, that wasn't the case. As Dugenay has mentioned, other co-hosts, you've already seen Robbie come on. Dugenay probably come on a little later on if he's not writing some article for some team, Redskins or another pro team. But he played well the first game. This game, we'll see what happens if he comes back. Week 5, he'll probably be back from the injury. I believe it was a calf injury. So we'll see what happens. Go from there. Don Cousins, yeah, I mean, like I say, I liked him as a quarterback. He played the game perfectly. He got paid here and got paid in Minnesota. But I don't see him as the difference in them getting to the Super Bowl. So they have their faith in him. He's not here no more. I really don't talk about it that much. So it is what it is. What's up, Robert? L to the Redskins. Glad you can come on, man. Once again, I appreciate folks tuning in, chiming in. Like I said, y'all could be anywhere else watching the post game, but y'all choosing to sit here in the lab with me and listen to me talk. Like I said, if you want to come on, got any questions, comments, anything you want to say, hit the invite button. I'll bring you on. No big deal. This is what we do. Sports on the Hill podcast, True Radio Network. Redskins post-game live victory Monday, 31-17, week 3 victory over Green Bay. I know a lot of commentators probably didn't take the Redskins. I haven't looked at the film, but I'm sure they all went with Green Bay. But I'm glad the Redskins pulled it off, 2-1, going into a week 4 bye. As I mentioned, October 1st, next Monday, not this upcoming Monday, tomorrow, we'll have Diane Cheeseborough, USA Today writer, Redskins Insider, calling in, talking everything Redskins in the 8 o'clock hour. So make sure y'all tune in. You can call in. Check the Facebook live feed. I'll put a commercial out to remind you after we have our show tomorrow night, which will be a Victory Monday show with the victory over the Green Bay Packers. Week 3, as I just said, 31-17. Let's see, who else we got? Kim just shared an article about Le'Veon Bell. Yeah, like I said, they're going to want the farm. They're going to want you to auction the farm for that. Man, we ain't got time for that. We building our own franchise, our own team. That's what's got this team in trouble before. Trades and free agents that, go against where the team was going in the first place. Not saying he's not a quality player, not saying he's a cancer on the team, but this team has have to find its own identity. And by picking up other teams' issues isn't going to getting this team anywhere closer. Yeah, I got to pardon that drink, but mouth getting a little dry over here. Oh, it's all good, Don. I'll get a drink a little bit later on. J.R. says, I think Josh is a void player, but when defense is pass interference with him, what it's supposed to do. Yeah, I'm not really saying, on that play that the pass interference. I'm just saying future reference. He has to do something like I mentioned last week about Preston Smith. He's in his 4th year trying to get that 5th-year contract extension. I know they're quick passing. I know they're chipping with the running back. I know they're chipping with the tight end. But you have to make a play at some point. If you're in the game in 3rd quarter and they've been doing the same thing, chipping and doing this, quick passing over your head, sometimes you got to fake like you go in there and take that step back to fool the quarterback to get that interception or to get that back down on 3rd down to get the defense off the field. That's all I'm saying. You got to make those, as an outside linebacker in a 3-4, you have to make plays. That's the only way this defense becomes dynamic, is the playmakers that are there to make plays, make the plays. That's all I'm saying. I'm not calling him out, not saying he's not doing a good job. We just need to see game-changing plays being made by certain people on this defense. It's the same way we expect it from players on the offense. You expect Chris Thompson to, break a screen every now and again. You expect Jordan Reed to have the first half like he had, a whole game like he had in the first half. You want to start expecting these things from these young players as you want to develop into cornerstones of your team going down the road. So you do lock them down in long-term contracts, and then that's how you have a foundation to build on. And that's what you see with the other teams that are successful in the league. That's all I'm saying. Not, saying he's not doing his job or whatever. Don, oh no, I do not drink any fire. No, sir, no man. The Cardinals up 14-0 on the Bears. Yeah, the Seahawks scored 7-0 on the Cowboys. Final scores. We said that Eagles beat the Colts 20-16. Patriots is later on tonight. We got Steelers and Bucks Monday night, and we all know about the Browns and Baker Mayfield getting their first victory in almost 2 years. Let's see. Kim's talking about Jay's 5th winning coach of Redskins. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm just saying why, okay, I'm going to ask you, Kim, since you're obviously a Jay Gruden fan, why is it that you go from week 1, 42 rushes, 22 passes, to 45 passes, 22 rushes, to this week, 33 rushes, 20 passes? When is he going to figure out the identity of the team? When is he going to stop trying to outthink everybody else and just do what this team does well, which is run the ball out of 2 tight end set, 3 tight end set. You can play action pass out of it, throw variety in, and stop doing the fancy trying to pitch to this person and pitch to that person and have Sometimes you just got to knuckle up, put the ball in the running back's hands, and control the line of scrimmage. That's all I'm saying. Be consistent. This team has no identity. They have no go-to play to say that 3rd and 4, we need 5, or 3rd and 1, we need 2. What is he going to call? He has no idea most of the time. They have no play that's a staple. He has to have some identity for this team. That's my issue with him. Ken says, Ty played well, needs to stop the penalty. Yep, that's definitely agreed. So he said, Leonard said, why does Gruden go to the federal witness protection program the second half of games? I don't know, man. If I can get in that press conference room with my credentials, I'm a damn sure ask him, Leonard. I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. Let's see. Hey, Leonard, appreciate it, man. I'm just out here, talking to the fans, doing what I love, man, trying to give some real sports information and knowledge in it for sports media, unlike what we've been having to deal with for the last, I don't know how long. Let's see. David said the Cowgirls are struggling. Yeah, that victory against the Giants last week, I think, was more that the Giants just was a bad team and the Cowboys just wasn't as bad that day. But then the Giants won the day, putting up, 26 points. So they got their first victory. Everybody in NFC has a victory now. So NFC East has a victory now. So, hey, what can you do? Jay said the game took a lot out of it. Hey, that's a typical Redskins game. If you're not mentally and physically and emotionally drained after it, it wasn't a Redskin game. It just wasn't. You got to, take a drink, smoke a cigarette, go take a walk, do something after a Redskin game, win, lose, or draw, because you got to clear your head and sort your thoughts out. That's why I don't come directly on after the game. It takes me about 5-10 minutes. I go have me a drink, crack me a brew, collect my thoughts, then come on. Because you after being a Redskins fan, you got to have some patience and got to, have that 10-second buffer to deal with whatever might happen. Johnny, what's going on, man? Said no pressure from Kerrigan or Smith. Said Junior Gallette's still out there. Yeah, he is still out there. But Johnny, you missed it when I said in the beginning. Quick passing game, 3-step drops. You're not going to get to the quarterback. Get your hands up. Try to stop, the crossing routes, the quick routes. I mean, sometimes there's nothing you can do. We got 4 sacks from the defensive line. What can you do? Got pressure, got containment. Aaron Rodgers only had 3 rushes. One of them was a first down. The running game, they held him under 100. And then look at the final numbers, probably under 90, I believe. So, I mean, it's week 3. No knee-jerk reaction. Number 1 defense in the league. Ranked. Come on, man. Let's see. Leonard says Redskins played the first half to win, second half not to lose. That's coaching. I can't argue with that. That's the same way I felt. He was coaching scared. Let's see. Say, what about the Bills? Yeah, the Bills, they did the damn thing today. I was definitely unexpected to see them put it on Minnesota like that. The Super Bowl contender with that defense, giving up, 24 points and 21 points in the first quarter. I was like, wow. I saw that. I didn't know what to think. But let's see. Looked like the Cowboys trying to kick a long field goal, and he made it. He hooked it in. Looked like it was going to be wide right, but it hooked in. And we got the Rams 21-13 over the Chargers. Chargers looking to get a late field goal to make it a 21-16 game going in the half. And then we got Cardinals are still up 14-0 on the Bears. And that's almost 2 minutes left in the second quarter. And the Bears was about to score, but looked like he stopped them short. Second and third and goal from the 2. And I guess I'm ready to go ahead and get out of here. Got to get ready for tomorrow night's show. Get ready for to break down this victory and to get ready for a little bit of Nats talk tomorrow night. Season just about over. They were officially eliminated from playoff contention the other night, but that's neither here nor there. Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you go check out Sports on the Hill podcast on Facebook. Make sure you go check out my YouTube channel, Carol Porter III, 3 Eyes, not the number 3. Go subscribe to it. I put my Facebook Live simulcast highlight videos, some thoughts I had sometime. Go check it out. Make sure you go check out Sports in the Hill podcast, apparel and accessories line, hats, hoodies, t-shirts, coffee mugs, tote bags, whatever you need, we got it. Appreciate the love and support. The more you support, the more we do, the more we bring to you live sports news highlights like you get nowhere else. No anonymous sources, no, clickbait, no rumors. We put out there on Thursday that Sean Navarro wasn't going to play because of the cast. We ain't hold out to make it some breaking news story right before or wait for other folks to break it. When we get the news, we bring it to you because that's what we're here for. DC sports without the politics, man. That's what it's all about. Dawg said can't win games with field goals. Yeah, that's true, but, they put up, touchdowns in the first half. So as long as they put up some touchdowns, that field goal was crucial because that made it a 14-point game under 2 minutes. Nothing fluke could happen in that. They could have been 11 points, get an 8, touchdown, 2-point conversion, get the ball back, kick a long field goal, tie the game up, going to overtime. So we've had stuff like that in the first 2 weeks of the football season. So that field goal was icing on the cake to make sure to, seal the win. And see, I have about a Redskin team that is a special team. Well, I mean, it's still too early. I really can't say, special. I love the defense. I love the way the defense is playing. Offense is a little inconsistent for my taste, but it's still early. Week 4, they got some time to rest. Hopefully Jay, comes out with a good game plan in week 5, and we go from there. But as I said, next week, week 4, no Redskin football, but we will have Diane Cheeseborough Redskin Insider on, who actually is probably at the press conference right now asking questions. Since Jay had a good game plan, I'm going to save my nugget that I have with Diane. She says that if I have any questions for Jay, since I can't get in that room, that if I pass them to her, she'll ask him. I'm going to save that for when it's crucial time. Since the team played well, he coached well, I'm not going to waste that nugget yet. But when it's time, I'm going to use it. But make sure you tune in Monday night. Next Monday, October 1st, she's going to be on probably about 20, 30 minutes. Any questions, comments, feel free to call in or tune in on the Facebook Live simulcast that we broadcast during our show. Like I said, go check out the website, SportsOTHP.com, for all our archive shows, highlight videos, Facebook Lives. I'm on the record. You want to know anything I feel about this team? Go check it out. It's there. I don't have no shame in my game. You know where I stand there with my team. But y'all have a good night. Be blessed. Enjoy Sunday dinner. I'm about to go grab me a bottle and enjoy some of my Sunday dinner. And appreciate you tuning in. Check us out tomorrow night. I'll be sharing a link. If not tonight, first thing in the morning. And talk to you tomorrow night. Hail to the Redskins. Victory Monday. Redskins victory week 3, 31-17 over the Green Bay Packers. Talk to you later. Be safe. The True Radio Network takeover is upon us, people. And the movement has begun. Stay tuned for so much more. CP3 out.